lost Syria and Palestine, which represented most of their Middle Eastern territories. The Mecca people, the pagan people, were ridiculed to Muhammad ﷺ and his followers, and they said, we should get rid of you like the Persians got rid of the Byzantines. And then Allah revealed the following verses. The Byzantines have been defeated in a land close by, but they, after, will soon be victorious within a few years. With Allah is the decision in the past and in the future. So the Prophet ﷺ also prayed for the Christian Byzantines. So this shows that the Christians, the people of the book, are closer to Muslims. And also when we look at the Treaty of the Hudaybiyah, we can see many examples, many reconciliation and dialogue among the believers and unbelievers. But when we look at the Muslim history, it is very clear. During the most of the Abbasi period, 750 to 1258, Baghdad was the seat of a great civilization, and its population was ethnically and religiously diverse, and freedom of thought and expression were common. In that period, the Christians were allowed full freedom to present their arguments and to say whatever they wanted. The authorities invited the theologians from different faiths to debate certain theological issues freely. Many of the Muslim scientists were grown in this period and influenced the modern world scientists like Jabir bin Hayyan, known as the father of the chemistry. And I believe that these people emerged at that time because there was a freedom of thought, there was a freedom of speech in the Middle Ages actually. And then the Muslim civilization was actually the reality in the middle age actually, and this was the result of the dialogue. Because if we dialogue each other, this is the actually reality. If we dialogue each other, if we don't close ourselves, if we communicate each other, we may do something good for the human family. And also in Andalusia, there is an interfaith dialogue, and Ibn Rushd, who is the father of the philosophy, he was lived in 1128 to 1198. He was the person. He was living in Cordova, and he was called as the father of the philosophy. And I believe that this is the result of the interfaith dialogue at that time. And when the Muslims were dominant power in the world, they provide the interfaith dialogue actually. This is not a new issue. This is not a, some of the people say that this is just an argument of the Catholic world, but this is not the reality. Maybe we don't have a conception like that, but it is a historical fact. We have dialogue in the Middle Age, in the time of the Muslims. When the Muslims were dominant power, they gave the freedom of speech and freedom of thought to the Christians and the Jewish people. For example, Al-Biruni, Ibn Khaldun, we have Ibn Khaldun, for example. Ibn Khaldun was just before 500 years Auguste Comte. He was a father of the sociology. And in the time of the Ottoman, of course, in the time of the Kanuni Sultan Süleyman, when the Jewish people were refused and rejected from all over the world, the Ottoman Empire accepted them as a minority, and they had a very comfortable life for 500 years. And now today, all the Jewish people accept that. And who can say that Islam is anti-Semitic? Islam preserves the equal distance all of the races. None of the race is condemned according to Islam. Race is not condemned. The attitudes is condemned. Quran criticized the Jewish people because they betrayed the Prophet Musa. But this doesn't mean that they criticize their race. none of the race is criminal. All of the race are pure, because race is the verse of Allah. Race is created by Allah. So there is actually, because of the political interpretations, because of some political reasons, some of the people misinterpret, of course, some of the Quranic verses. Jewish people, Christian people, and all of the races has an equal distance in Islam. Of course, according to Islam, Quran prefer the people of the book rather than the pagan people, because it is a monotheistic and it is closer to reality. It is closer to Tawheed. So that's why it's very important. So as a conclusion, Islamic faith is open to make reconciliation and dialogue with other faith groups to provide a peaceful life in the world. And the authentic Islamic teaching promotes respect, tolerance, and peaceful living. And Muslim history has plenty of examples for living together with respect, tolerance, and peace. An interfaith dialogue will promote the productivity in science and technology. An interfaith dialogue is not a historical fact, but also today's Muslims are working for interfaith activities to promote peace and understanding in the world. So this is the reality. And unfortunately, because of some anti-propaganda, because of the slandering, Muslims are accused by some of the people as extremists, radical. But this is not the reality. If there is a radicalism, if there is extreme issues, this is not coming from Islam, this is not coming from religion, but this is coming from the political and the socio-economic reasons. There are some people who are extreme in one part of the world. This cannot be explained with the Islamic teaching. Islam starts with Rahman and Rahim. Muslims are the people who support the peace. We are not the people who make mischief in the world. But if there is a problem, of course, this is the result of the occupations. If there is an occupation, of course there will be some extremisms. Just in 1998, 756,000 babies died in Iraq. So, 756,000 babies die in Iraq. So this is something important. This means 756 mothers were crying in this country. So if there is extremism, these are the result of some things, occupations. We are peaceful people. We invite the people to peace. Islam is the only belief system in the world which name is peace. Islam means peace. Etymologically, it is